What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another FPL video on the channel. And in today's one we are going to be looking at my game week 12 transfer plans. But of course, before we do get into that, let's have a quick review of how we performed in game week 11. Alright guys, so quickly before I do get into that, I just want to say my apologies for not posting my game week 11 reaction video, and also for not giving you guys a deadline stream for game week 11. I was kind of sick over the weekend, so wasn't really in the best condition to be live on YouTube and recording videos. But with that being said, guys, I'm all good now. I'm no longer yellow flagged, and I'm ready to give you guys some FPL content. So with that being said, guys, as you can see in game week 11, we got 60 points and a green arrow. Right, we got another green arrow. It was a small green arrow, but right now we are sitting at 800k. Now I will say I'm happy, but not really happy. Like, I'm content, I should say, because I feel like the game week was okay, but it could have been a lot better. It wasn't bad, but it could have been a lot better in my opinion. And I want to start by saying I got the captaincy call wrong. A lot of you guys in the comments were telling me to captain Salah instead of Haaland and Solanke, and maybe I should have listened, because yeah, I got the captaincy call very wrong. Haaland did manage to get on the score sheet, but only got a 5-pointer, which is absolutely horrific, absolutely terrible. And look, we are definitely going to speak on Erling Haaland, because guys, serious conversations need to be had on Erling Haaland. I'm not gonna lie, and look, I'm not gonna say anything, but we're gonna talk on Erling Haaland in a second. But yeah, Mohamed Salah got a huge 14-pointer. I really do wish I captained him now, I'm not gonna lie, but I guess hindsight is a beautiful thing. I think Haaland did have chances to score, but I mean, yeah, this just pretty much sums up how owning Haaland has felt in the last like 6 to 7 game weeks, to be honest. But yeah, Haaland had some chances. He could have got more goals. Mohamed Salah was very efficient and clinical. He got the 14 points. And then we had Dominic Solanke, who absolutely flopped against Ipswich at home. He did manage to score in the game, but it did get ruled out by VAR, which is genuinely just so annoying. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I think I'm done with Dominic Solanke. I'm done. I really am done. I think overall he's been a massive flop for me. I know the week before he did really good. He scored 2 goals, got 1 assist against Aston Villa, but overall, since I've had Dominic Solanke, it's not went well for me, right? It's simple as that. And look, I'm not gonna lie, man, my strikers let me down massively. Strand Larsen was playing against Southampton at home. He also flopped. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous that I had 2 strikers in Dominic Solanke and Strand Larsen playing against newly promoted sides, Ipswich and Southampton, and they both blanked. Not one of them got a return against 2 newly promoted sides. It's absolutely ridiculous, and that just sums up my luck, yeah, this season, pretty much, I think. But yeah, we did have Smith Rowe getting a huge 11-pointer against Crystal Palace, which is absolutely fantastic. He actually did get his second goal ruled out just for offside. Yeah, so frustrating, man. That second goal would have been huge for me, but I think overall I really am happy with owning Smith Rowe. I think he's looked good on the eye test recently, so moving forward I am really glad I've got him in the team. We've also got Brian Mbeumo, who did get an assist in the last game, which isn't too bad, and we've also got Phil Foden, of course, as you guys can see there. Flopped massively. Look, I watched the game. He could have got some assist to Erling Haaland. He was kind of close to scoring a goal in the second half, but overall, it was a shocking performance from Man City. I mean, they played good in like the first 30 minutes, but after that, it was just shocking. I'm not going to lie, the second half when Baleba came on, he completely just changed the game for Brighton, and Man City in the second half were just non-existent. Phil Foden, throughout the majority of the game, was non-existent, right? He didn't really play well, and I'm just genuinely sick and tired of these Man City players. You know, the same goes for Rico Lewis as well. Of course, Brighton won the game 2-1. Lewis got 0 points. It's just like, honestly, owning these 3 Man City players has been an absolute disaster. An absolute disaster. And I just, as I said, we're going to talk on my transfer plans, but I'll tell you guys right now, my transfer plans do involve getting rid of these Man City players, because enough is enough. I've had enough. I've actually had enough with these Man City players. And look, as I said, Phil Foden was close to getting some returns, some assists to Erling Haaland, but of course Erling Haaland couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and that just sums him up for the last few weeks, as I've already said already. But yeah, we also did have Nuri and Konate. They both got a clean sheet, which is very nice. And then we had Raya, who did concede against Chelsea. And yeah, I'm not surprised really. Arsenal defense has been shocking for so long. But with that being said, I will say I'm pretty annoyed, because I did say in my team selection video that, you know, I was sort of close to bringing in Fabianski, and as you guys can see, Fabianski got the clean sheet against Everton, a huge 9 points for Fabianski, and Mykolenko as well. It was a 0-0 draw, so Mykolenko also got a clean sheet, and I think I made a mistake there. I did make a mistake. I think I should have started Fabianski and Mykolenko. Obviously, it's easier to say that now, but realistically, I think Lewis was always going to concede. So I think I should have maybe started Mykolenko and then Fabianski playing at home. I guess, look, I guess it's hindsight. I guess it is hindsight, but I don't know, man. I think I should have taken the risk on starting Fabianski and Mykolenko. I think I lost out on 15 points there, as you guys can see, or I should say 13 points, right? Because Ray's got 2 points. So yeah, I missed out on 13 points there. Yeah, which is unfortunate, but yeah, look, it is what it is. It's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, right? It's how the cookie crumbles. But I don't want to spend too long talking about game week 11. That is all done. That is a quick review of how we done in game week 11. 60 points, a green arrow up to 800k, not too bad. But now it's time to have a look at my game week 12 transfer plans. All right, guys, so it's time to have a look at my game week 12 transfer plans, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this because there is genuinely a lot to discuss. And I'm looking forward to making my transfers for game week 12. Right now, as you guys can see on your screens, this is what I want to do for game week 12. I've got 2 free transfers. I want to take out Phil Foden, I want to bring in Cole Palmer, I want to take out Dominic Solanke, and I want to bring in Danny Welbeck. Now, this is what I want to do in my 2 free transfers. However, I am actually thinking of taking a -4 or a -8 hit. Now, first things first, I'll move on to that in a second, but I just want to discuss these transfers first because the hit is like a 50-50 chance. There's a 50-50 chance I take a -8 hit this week, and I'll explain what that 8 hit will be in a second. But first, this is what I want to do in my 2 free transfers, right? Foden out, Palmer in, Solanke out, Welbeck in. Now, as you guys can see, the fixtures for Danny Welbeck are really, really good from game week 12 onwards. Bournemouth away in game week 12 is a decent fixture, and then Southampton at home is a great fixture. And he's got Fulham, Leicester, Palace, West Ham, Brentford. I think from 12 to 18, Danny Welbeck is genuinely someone that I want to have in my FPL team, right? So I really, really do like him as an option. And for me, Danny Welbeck, he is just looking so good this season in that Brighton system. You know, he is that number 9 in a very, very good attacking side. So I do like him, and I think he provides good value. I think he's been one of the best performing strikers in FPL so far this season. So I really do think at his price is that he's absolutely fantastic. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, well, João Pedro just come back from injury. He's also cheaper than Danny Welbeck, and on penalties, why don't I go for João Pedro? Now, I think João Pedro is a great option, but for me, I still think it's a little bit of a risk going for João Pedro because he's just coming back from injury. Of course, he came off the bench, got 1 goal, got 1 assist, absolutely fantastic, but I still don't know if João Pedro will start in the next game, right? Even though there is an international break, I still don't know if he's got that match sharpness and all that match fitness back yet, and I feel like the manager, Hertzler, will sort of ease him back into the starting 11. I think maybe we could see João Pedro start against Southampton, but in the next game against Bournemouth, I don't know if he starts. So for that reason, I think I'll just play it safe with Danny Welbeck because I know that Danny Welbeck is more or less more than likely, right, gonna play 90 minutes or 80 plus minutes in the games. Of course, he's not on the penalties, but still, I think he's a good option, and still, I think he's proven that he can get you goals anyway. And I know for a fact, right, that Danny Welbeck is going to start games, whereas I don't know for a fact that João Pedro will start games. So I think it's a little bit risky going for João Pedro right now. I think if you are looking to get João Pedro, and I think you're better off waiting 1 or 2 weeks maybe. And for me, I don't have time to wait 1 or 2 weeks. I need to take out Solanke now. So for that reason, I'm just going to go for Danny Welbeck. And look, as I said, I think João Pedro value-wise is fantastic. He's on penalties and all that. But I think, as I said, it's a bit risky to bring him in now. So I'm going to go for Danny Welbeck. And I'm really happy with going for Danny Welbeck, man. He fills me with a lot of confidence because every time I watch him and Brighton play, he's getting into good positions. He's always looking like the player that's going to get you goals. So I do like Danny Welbeck. And of course, Cole Palmer, right? Cole Palmer is someone that I really want to bring in my team for Phil Foden. And look, not much really needs to be said about Cole Palmer, right? We all know how good Cole Palmer is, but for me, it's just this fixture run. This fixture run is genuinely just absolutely insane. And not Phil Foden, sorry, and Cole Palmer has shown, right, that he is sort of a player that is almost like a flat track bully. Against these lower sides in the Premier League, he can rack up goals and assists. He is so explosive in these kind of games. And against Leicester away, for example, I can see Cole Palmer getting like 3 or 4 returns. And he is a genuine captain. I think I might even captain Cole Palmer for this week, for that week against Leicester. I really do think I will. I think Cole Palmer is just absolutely incredible. And look, Leicester away is great. Villa at home is good. Southampton away is great. Spurs away is good. Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, Palace. I mean, guys, I actually think from this point onwards, from me bringing in Cole Palmer now, I don't ever think I remove him out my team. I can't see a point where I would actually remove Cole Palmer out my team. So I just think he's a fantastic long-term option. I don't think he's injured. I think he'll be back for game week 12. So Cole Palmer is, for me, just genuinely someone I want. Chelsea have really sort of what's the word, impressed me, right? Chelsea have impressed me, right? When I watch Chelsea, I think going forward they're fantastic. I think defensively they are a bit weak, yes, but I still think going forward, man, absolutely fantastic. And Cole Palmer just always at the heart of everything. He's at the center of everything when Chelsea are attacking and going forward. So I just think Cole Palmer is fantastic. I think you can captain him in so many weeks as well. I think it's just a no-brainer, right? Cole Palmer in game week 12, you must bring him in. It's as simple as that for me, in my opinion. So yeah, that is why with my 2 free transfers, I do want to bring in Cole Palmer and Danny Welbeck. Now, as I said to you guys earlier, I am considering a -8 hit. Now, what is that -8 hit, you ask? Well, as you guys can see on screen, Haaland out. I want Erling Haaland out. Now, it's just a question of, do I take a -8 now or next week for game week 13? And I'll show you guys what I mean by this, right? We're going to talk, because it's a little bit, there's a complicated nature to it, right? And I got to think, all right? I got to be sort of smart of when I do take this hit, but ultimately, I do want to let you guys know, I want Erling Haaland out my team. Enough is enough. I want him gone. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think he's worth that 15 million. And I'll explain to you guys why. So first things first, I do want to take out Erling Haaland for Alexander Isak. And then that would free up some money to upgrade Lewis to Gabriel, right? And that would be for a -8. I like the fixtures that Isak has. And he's in form right now, right? He's scored in his last 3 Premier League games. He got 1 goal, 1 assist against Forest away from home. I think he's looking pretty good. And I like the upcoming fixtures that Newcastle do have, right? They got West Ham at home, Palace away, Liverpool at home is tough, but by taking out Erling Haaland, by this point, I'd actually be able to bench him. And I'll get onto that. I'll show you guys what I mean by that in a second. But yeah, Liverpool at home is tough. Then he's got Brentford away, Leicester and Ipswich, right? So I think these fixtures are really, really good. He's playing against some weak sides in the Premier League at the moment. And I think he's got the potential to do really, really well in these games. I also do want to say, though, I actually do like Ollie Watkins as well. And I was sort of debating whether it's, you know, who do I go for between Ollie Watkins and Alexander Isak. But I feel like I slightly prefer Alexander Isak for like the short to medium term, but for the longer term, I think I prefer Ollie Watkins. But what I could do is start off with Alexander Isak and then move off Alexander Isak and move into Ollie Watkins around game week 19 for Ollie Watkins' good fixture run, which includes, you know, Brighton, Leicester, Everton, West Ham, Wolves, Ipswich, etc. Right? So I think it is sort of between Isak and Watkins, but right now for like the medium to short term, I do prefer Alexander Isak as opposed to Ollie Watkins. But yeah, nonetheless, I think both options are really, really good. At the moment, as I said, I'm leaning towards taking out Haaland and bringing in Alexander Isak. Now, that would, of course, free up enough money for me to go and get Gabriel, as I did say. And again, I like Gabriel. I like Arsenal defence. I know they've been shocking for so long, but I genuinely think it's going to take a turn. And I think the fixtures they've got coming up now are just so good. And I think surely now they've got to get clean sheets. I think we know still Arsenal are a good defence. They've got Odegaard back from injury. I think Calafiori could possibly be back after the international break as well. I think Arsenal could get into a sort of a good run of form and really get some clean sheets, in my opinion. So I do think I want to go to double Arsenal defense, and I just think, yeah, their fixtures are really good. And also, to be honest, like, Rico Lewis is just so bad, right? He is just terrible, absolutely terrible. So the Man City defense is terrible, and I don't mind taking a -4 hit to upgrade Lewis to Gabriel. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about quickly is, when do I do this? Because I think for me, I'm sort of set on taking out Erling Haaland, right? I'm set on taking out Erling Haaland. Now, quickly before, look, as I said, there's a lot to discuss, right? And I just want to make sure I'm making things very clear for you guys to understand. Now, what I want to say quickly, and I want to show you guys something, is by making these moves, first things first, before we talk about when is the best time to take out Haaland for me, I want to say what taking out Haaland allows me to do as well, because there's one part that's missing. It's not just Isak and Gabriel I'm able to get, right? What I'm able to do now, I'm going to show you guys my screen. So as you guys can see, we're on planfpl.com, right? So if I was to make these transfers this week and take the -8, so Haaland, Foden, Solanke and Lewis, if I was to take these guys out my team, let me show you guys what I would do. So of course it would be Isak, it would be Palmer, it would be Welbeck, and then Gabriel, right? So that would be for a -8. Now, that would then allow me in game week 13 to upgrade Dibbling to a Bukayo Saka, right? So that's the benefit of being able to take out Erling Haaland. I can upgrade Dibbling to Saka or Dibbling to Son or Bruno Fernandes, just a premium priced midfielder, right? And then I would be able to like bench Smith Rowe, for example, right? So that's why I really do like taking out Haaland now, and that's also what taking out Haaland allows me to do with the extra remaining funds, right? So I just want to let you guys know that. Now that I've got that out of the way, so I'm able to have Gabriel, Saka, Isak. Essentially, I'm actually replacing Haaland, Dibbling, and Rico Lewis for Isak, Saka, and Gabriel. That's essentially what I'm doing. Now, look, now that I've got that out of the way, I want to basically tell you guys. I need to tell you guys, and I need to ask you guys as well. Is it better to take this -8 now or in game week 13? Because another option for me is to actually make the 2 transfers. I bring in Cole Palmer and I bring in Danny Welbeck for game week 12, right? But I don't take a -8. But instead, I wait till game week 13 and then take a -8. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I think taking a -4, I think Gabriel outscores Rico Lewis, right? So taking a -4 to upgrade Lewis to Gabriel, I don't mind, because I actually think Gabriel and Arsenal will get a clean sheet against Nottingham Forest. That is my honest opinion. So if Gabriel gets 6 points, Rico Lewis gets 0 or 1 point, 6 minus 4 is 2, right? So I would gain 2 points if Rico Lewis gets 0. So I hope that is clear. So I do think I gain by bringing in Gabriel. However, taking out Erling Haaland for Alexander Isak for a -4 when Haaland is playing against Tottenham at home, I'm not too sure if that's beneficial. I actually think Haaland in this game, right, putting my emotions aside and using logic and putting my emotions aside about how annoyed and angry I feel about Erling Haaland, I don't know if it's wise taking out Haaland for a -4 this specific week when he's got Tottenham at home, because I do believe Haaland is capable against Tottenham to even just score 1. And I think scoring 1 is enough, because I would be taking out Haaland for a hit, right? Isak does have a good fixture against West Ham at home, but the thing is, if Haaland scores 1 and Isak scores 1, I would have lost out on points because I would have taken out Haaland for a -4 hit. So my thinking is, because I think Haaland is very much capable of scoring 1 or 2 goals against Spurs, instead of taking any hits, unfortunately, it would mean if I kept Haaland this week, unfortunately, it would mean I'm not able to bring in Gabriel, right? Because look, if I show you guys in game week 12, if I just put in Palmer and Welbeck, right, I can't take out Lewis and bring in Gabriel. I don't have enough, right? So with that being said, I would actually not take a hit this week, just use the 2 free transfers to bring in Palmer and Welbeck. Obviously, I wouldn't captain Haaland, I'd probably captain Palmer, that's my honest opinion. And instead of taking a hit, because like I said, I don't know if Isak outscores Haaland this week by more than 4 points, because Isak does have a good fixture, but I think this fixture for Man City, regardless of how bad they've been, I still think Haaland could score 1. And as I said, I don't think Isak outscores Haaland by 4 points this specific week. However, next week in game week 13, I do think when Haaland's playing against Liverpool away, that's the time where I could take the -8 hit, because I think I could actually gain. I think I could gain back the points, because I think Isak against Crystal Palace could outscore Haaland against Liverpool by 4 points, right? So I feel like I won't lose out on points there. And then I would also bring in Lewis. I would also take out Lewis for Gabriel and then take out Dibbling for Saka. So essentially, I'm delaying that -8 for game week 13 instead of game week 12, because I feel like the possible gain, right, is bigger in game week 13, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's definitely something to think about. I don't want to go on for too long, but yeah, basically I'm just debating on whether I should make the -8 now or next week in game week 13. With that being said, regardless of whether I do it now or in game week 13, Saka will definitely be coming in game week 13, right? So I really do like the fact that I'm taking out Haaland, freeing up some money, and I'm able to get Saka, Salah, Palmer in midfield. And it also allows me to bench Smith Rowe when he's playing against Tottenham away from home. So that's sort of how my team would look in game week 13, and it doesn't look bad at all. And in game week 14, I would probably take out Mbeumo for someone like Jarrod Bowen, because I just love the fixture run that West Ham have from game week 14 all the way up until game week 18. So I think he's a good differential, and yeah, someone that I would like to own in game week 14. And then it also allows me to bench Alexander Isak, which is what I was talking about earlier, right? So I can bench Alexander Isak, who's playing against Liverpool at home, and I can start Smith Rowe against Brighton at home. So yeah, don't pay attention to captaincy, by the way. Of course, I will not be doing that. But yeah, I just think the overall team looks so much better without Haaland, in my opinion. And because Arsenal have good fixtures, Chelsea have good fixtures, Liverpool have good fixtures, and Salah's just in form right now, I just think it makes sense to move out of Haaland and go to this like free premium midfielder structure with a solid defense as well. And I'm able to form good rotations. And in this week, I could also start Fabianski as well, by the way, which isn't too bad as well. So yeah, that's sort of how my team would look in game week 14. Then in game week 15, I could bench Smith Rowe again and start Alexander Isak against Brentford. So yeah, it just looks pretty good in my opinion. It looks pretty good, and I just prefer my overall team without Haaland. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I really do. So yeah, that is what I am thinking for game week 15. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I've probably rambled for so long, so yeah, my apologies, guys. That's all I can really say. My apologies. Hopefully the video isn't too long, and hopefully you guys get what I'm sort of trying to say with my transfers. But nonetheless, I hope you did enjoy the video. Make sure you guys do smash a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and that is going to be it from me today. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. But until then, I'm out. Peace.